Hello everyone and welcome back to VCT Americas, where MiBR did not let up in the second half of Fracture, take the dub on the map and put the series score to 1-0. And Sean, we were praising their pistol round on the first half, and they gave us another beautiful one on the second as well.
They looked so prepared on Fracture and so much more cohesive than they did in the past when they were in Neon comps. It's wild to me that Chosen comes in as a sub, JZZ steps in as the main duelist, and this is the result we get. Their first map win in the last 11 maps just came.
It's incredible, and you could see the confidence from these players individually, but you could also see the prep work in both pistols. In this one, they know that 100 Thieves is oftentimes going for those arcade plays on these attack-sided pistols. They go for aggression there, and after trading fairly evenly, they have another answer, the wrap underpass, to win out in this retake. It always felt like MiBR had an idea, even late in these runs. They were able to find adaptations, which is something we never saw from them in these last few weeks. Honestly, they looked lost in so many of these games, but here they had a conceded game plan that they stuck to. They adapted 100 Thieves, threw something new at them, and everyone was just playing so well individually.
And while I do think it's important to say, MiBR looked phenomenal here. 100 Thieves, on the other hand, between Asuna, Bang, and Stellar, they combined for 1 and 9 on First Bloods. And those are your support players.
Yeah.
In a blowout.
Well,
they're getting first blooded time and time again. That can never happen in Valorant. They should not be getting first blooded like that.
Definitely shouldn't, but it's also hard to avoid getting first deaths when people are not blind firing, but essentially blind firing through dish to get a first pick on you, right? Is JZZ,
True.
Who did find a number of absolutely ridiculous first kills to open up rounds.
I mean, it looked like that MiBR that was upsetting NRG, where JZZ and RGL just looked like unhuman players. It was ridiculous, some of the stuff they were pulling off, and there was a
This was
pretty cute.
A little overcooked right there.
But other than that, it was really good from them throughout. And like you said, I think what was most impressive was just the coordination. There was no real overheating, besides that one time on the Neon. The coordination was way better than before.
They won a Thrifty where 100 Thieves used 3 ults. 3 ults. The Seekers, the Orbital Strike, and the Lockdown.
The post-plant lockdown.
Round-winning ults on a Thrifty.
Yeah. Losing to a Stinger.
There's 2 players in a 2v1 against a Stinger, and he isolated both the gunfights.
Brutal.
Crazy.
Brutal. I mean, 100 Thieves just took a big hit to the face in dropping map number 1. But before we dive into map number 2, it's time for us to head into the aim lab, shoot around. We're looking over the shoulder of Cryo, actually one of the players on the team who I did feel like, to a degree, was performing, particularly on the defensive side, with the op in his hand, right? But he can't do it alone.
He's a very defensive-sided opper. He's always going to find a lot of value on the side of your map. And he was getting good opening kills for them. But like you were bringing up, Sean, I think a lot of the issues was everyone else was just getting ran over by this Neon, giving away a lot of early advantages that MiBR did so well to convert.
Yeah, this wasn't a bad game by Cryo. I mean, he may not be up there on the scoreboard, but like I said, if your support players are going 1 and 9 in First Bloods, the situations you were then put in as a duelist are not fair, right? You don't even have a support utility to go out and get frags.
And this brings me back to the week before last, which was the first time that we really saw Cryo coming online, but the rest of the team was struggling. And talk about struggles, 400 Thieves were heading to Pearl for map number 2, and they looked, honestly, really, really rough on it last week. Their attacking side in particular was such a struggle versus Furia.
Yeah, so it's an ugly picture right now for 100 Thieves, but I do want to put a little color to that.
Okay.
So of all 8 series that they've played, or the 8 series that they've played so far, they've only won 1 map 1. Of any of their series. And yet they've still won 4 series, right? Yeah. So this is not an unfamiliar position for 100 Thieves to find themselves in, just this stage, to be down a map and have to put 2 together. Now, back to your point, though, Mimi, they have to start it on one of their worst maps and find an answer against what looks like an MiBR that has found that extra gear.
One, I think, positive you can look towards is that they did play it last week. The loss there versus Furia is fresh in their mind, at least on that map, and something I'm sure they can build upon. I wouldn't expect them to change the comp. This will likely just be back to the Harbor Viper for both sides. But we do, on the MiBR front, see JZZ continuing with the duelist play. He's locking in the jet.
Yeah, and if I'm 100 Thieves, I'm a little worried because early in this stage, MiBR looked formidable on Pearl. They've fallen away on the map recently, losing 4 straight, but they played Pearl 5 times in the month of April alone.
Wow.
Yes, 100 Thieves have played 1 time on Pearl this entire stage. So to say that they're going to be uncomfortable today would be a total lie. MiBR is going to feel very comfortable in this map. It's just whether 100 Thieves can look better than they did last week.
But it's a bit of cope for 100 Thieves. Last time that this squad MiBR played on Pearl, it was also versus Furia, and there they really struggled. Had a great attacking side, and their defense fell apart, and Furia came back on them. They really struggled at finding the coordination in these retakes. One player would be going in a little too far ahead, Heat would be dying, and it would just fall to pieces. But the thing is, that's not the same MiBR we're seeing today.
No, not in the slightest. So there you have it. Mirrored comps locked in as we head to Pearl for our second map of the series. It's time for us to head back to our casters. Brennan Sideshow, is this really happening?
Potentially. I mean, the potential is there. Listen, a healthy amount of cope being handed out by the analyst desk here for both of these squads, I'd say, in terms of them, listen, maybe it's perceivable that 100 Thieves could potentially win. Both of them have looked rough on Pearl recently. I will say that. 100 Thieves as well, slow starters.
Yes.
To most series.
Yes.
But the slight difference that needs to be applied here is that the stakes are really high for 100 Thieves. The heat is being turned up. They need to win this for playoffs. And that's an extra element that's getting added onto this one. It's going to be weighing at the back of their minds.
And I think back to the stat that Dash brought up that I was talking about earlier too. They only won 1 out of 8 of their matches. They won the first map prior to this game. But it's not like they won all of them. It's not like they came back in all of those matches. All right, early clash as well. It feels like wherever 100 Thieves want to go, MiBR are also there. It was the same story on Fracture. Both of these teams fighting over the same pieces of map control.
Yeah, just a hard read. Adjustment with a free cam.
Gonna send our observers going loopy.
Yeah, backwards, forwards, but it's gonna be that clash that's about to take place. You can tell.
Off the alarm bot.
Stacked up alarm bot, and what is the play off of it? It's just a wide swing. There's no util being used, and that might be to dire consequences. Indeed, it is for MiBR.
You're telling me you don't flash off that?
It's crazy.
They just swing?
They just swing. No util necessary. RGL lucky to get out of his life. Still, yeah, 26 health. And backing away, but the back of the side going to be gained now for 100 Thieves. Getting that plant down, all the way forwards. Cryo takes the fight. JZA was hoping for the advantage there of timing. Bit of a surrounded attempt, but 100 Thieves making the call to reposition now towards the back of the site, all playing together. Not giving away any opportunity for MiBR to get back into this one. How weak RGL is. Yeah, not favored there. Patience with the shots from Murray's, but enough of the bodies alive for 100 Thieves. A pistol round win, absolutely huge for them.
Yeah, they lost both of them on Fracture, and that was part of the reason why that map was so one-sided. MiBR came out with a flawless to begin. But it really does feel like a different MiBR squad. They've broken a 10-map loss streak by winning there on Fracture, and they're looking to try and break an 8-match winning streak for North American teams versus South American teams recently, too. The NA squads have been dominant towards the end of the season, and MiBR would love to stop that. 100 Thieves need to dig deep. I mean, whatever kind of talk they were getting in the back from Mike's and the rest of the coaches, and then they need it.
Yeah, they need to step up. But a good beginning. Not giving anything away. Sometimes it does bite teams when you end up playing this cautiously against the eco round after winning the pistol.
But that's only if you end up going into the stack. And you can see they're heading in the opposite direction from the Trailblazer towards a completely empty B site. And 100 Thieves have played Pearl only once before. It was previously their permaban. They've played it in the previous meta, but this year it was their permaban, to be honest, and they didn't look great at it when they showed it last time. Both Pearl and Ascent, Sean was talking about it earlier, have been big weaknesses in this team's map pool. And now they are in a situation where they have to avoid elimination from the playoffs on what was formerly their permaban map. And the last time we saw them on Pearl, they were doing a lot of this stuff where they play slowly at the beginning, don't really explore towards mid or break any killjoy utility and just end B. There didn't really seem to be too much strategy to it, or too much mid-rounding either from Stella. So that's the area that I really want to see improvement in this half.
Yeah, the mid-rounding, just a bit of direction there, rather than just, the sole game plan of being NB, and when it fails, then you're just left with nothing. I mean, they've got plenty of footage to crawl through and look at. RGL Meister takes contact here, doesn't opt to die to the spike because he was 3 orbs being built up, wants to get his ult a little bit faster. The rest of them, though, will be just trying to die. So that spike denying the ult. Stella obviously going for this as well.
Yeah, I mean, he really wants the Reckoning online.
Yeah.
Part of 100 Thieves' strategy is going to be to load ult orbs into Stella, probably.
Really important ultimate online when you see the Pearl teams playing this Harbor. Because the Reckoning is just, it makes your retakes, it makes your takes to the sides as well inherently so much easier.
Yeah, some teams are going to prioritize the Harbor, other teams prioritize the Killjoy, for example, as well, or the Sky, depending on what their default looks like and what strats they want to go with. But Stella's still 3 away from his. There is very good weaponry here, though, in the bonus round, except that Stella is full invested. So they're kind of relying on Cryo getting up to the Blade Storm too. Like I said though, I'm more interested in what they look like in terms of their macro pathing, and this is interesting, new, different from 100 Thieves. They go towards B-Link, they break that Killjoy info utility early of the alarm bot and threaten a bit of a B presence.
Yeah.
And now they're gonna back up.
A bit akin to how Loud like to play it at the beginning, where they end up using their high tide. This time 100 Thieves opt into the Cascade. They have broken that utility, a repeat. Not lacking any confidence, is he? Chases A. It's been a while since he stepped into the role, but had to step into it once more for his team.
Everybody is grouped up here at the minute mark for 100 Thieves. They are just going to try and end B again. I do like that they pressured towards B-Link early, so it does give a little bit of a different flavor.
They're already rotating.
Yeah, exactly. RGL's already on his way. They're booking it.
They've got the read that this is going to be ending towards that B site with Cryo getting that first pick. What's the call? Speeding it up. A dash into the back of Horse here. Nanoswarm landing a bit late. That's an attempt at a punish. MRC taking way too much damage in Cryo. All that space gains, the deep dash into Halls. He's got the angle.
Planted.
Just looking to carry the game, isn't he? Finding that early fight and the confidence to just run down Morris towards the end too. This is the attitude that 100 Thieves need in order to keep their season alive.
Cryo is a player who's leading 7-1 right now. He's got his confidence back at the tail end of this split.
And you heard Sean say too that not his fault that they lost on Fracture. When your support players are going 1 and 9 in terms of first kills, Cryo just, he couldn't find the fights quickly enough to influence them.
Yeah.
And that was partly due to how well MiBR were playing with a lot of pace. But also 100 Thieves just weren't quite there to adapt. On this map, much easier to run slow defaults where Cryo's always at the front. If he's having a hot game, just put him in there.
Heavy stack towards A on the half buy, just to prioritize those orbs. Now, they're being met with a bit of rifle spam. Anything could happen.
MiBR have also made noise from at least 4 players.
Yeah, you'd think the call now would be to just take up the space towards B, but it's a re-clearance. Oh, and this could get dangerous, couldn't it? 2 players against 4. Murray's playing wide, swinging wide. There was an attempt from Bang there. They want to try and deny this rifle being grabbed up. FRZ. I tell you, the amount of stinger kills we've seen recently, gotta start using that gun.
Spike planted.
Cryo's going deep to try and catch another player. They know that there's 2 in Art, and Chosen, they're anticipating him being the B-side anchor in the midst of all of this.
Double face, Marshall. Oh, right around the side, it's a body shot onto Cryo! The no-scope will do it.
Asana's too far away to get a trade there. The angles just don't work.
Slide off angle as well, though. Now he's being punished. There's a wrecking in his face. He can't stand in one place.
Not again.
Stella last alive, and this
Not
is a win for MiBR, stealing it away.
These thrifties are killing 100 Thieves.
And I gotta be critical of this as well. The mid-rounding was pretty much non-existent the last time they played Pearl there, but the call to re-hit into A, into a split, when you hear 4 of them, or at least a good amount of them on the half-buy.
You know that there was at least 3 or 4 of them there, just with how many different weapons you heard shooting and spamming through the high tide.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I do agree. And then, even more so than just the call, the coordination between, I believe it was Bang and Derek, I think, who were going through Art together. One of them running away from the fight as the other one swung in aggressively. It all just fell to pieces.
A little bit out of sync.
Poison orb emitting.
These thrifties may end up being the difference between 100 Thieves making playoffs or not. We already saw them have devastating consequences on Fracture. Again, a different look, though, from 100 Thieves on their attack side. They are working their way towards mid. With that cascade from Stella, they've taken a lot of control and put MiBR in a really odd spot. They've committed 3 bodies through here, no information. I can't say the last time I've seen a round that's come down like this.
Flipped around, yeah. I mean, look at the positioning of these players. Now, I think Bang should have heard the high tide and a flash as well, cut across. He has to expect that as players that, yes, they do. The call's been made to use the Reckoning up to the top side of it to push them out, but they're really putting it now into Bang, and well,
good trade.
That is a good trade. Plant will fall, or go down though, so into the post plant now for 100 Thieves.
This becomes very difficult for Mariz and Chosen. Spawn is not safe. You know, the mid isn't safe either. How do they just get back to their team to help them retake?
Yeah, especially when it's been flipped like this into heaven. Asena's close. Is there going to be a swing from anyone? Jump spot. He needs help here. Asena's got to make that call. Cryo now starting to reposition. 2 assists, but a snake bite at his feet. Not quite possible. Morris, he attempted it. Not calling, noted the player's already pushed up, but there is coverage in terms of the fire. Stella, the IGL steps up. Cryo holds his. 4-1.
And that's really nice. Last time we saw 100 Thieves on Pearl, they looked very one-dimensional. Like they had a single idea of how to play the map on their attack side, and already they're demonstrating some serious differences. Sure, they've been trending towards the B side of the map still, apart from that one kind of dreadful anti-eco, but they've been putting much more heavy pressure towards B-Link. The cascade and Cryo playing through there is something that MiBR are going to have to adapt to. And this was such an awkward situation that they called an audible for and dealt with really well.
Yeah. A lot of that emphasis placed towards the A and B orbs as well early on. Again, placing it under Stella, so working towards the Reckoning. We've already spoken about how important it is. No idea where that wall bangs.
So that's going through to the left side if somebody pushed all the way up. Look, right there.
Okay.
So if one of the defenders had pushed up behind the high tide and got themselves into...
I'm taking notes.
That angle. I mean, don't know how often it's really going to get you value.
Very specific. Stacked up, though. Couple of rifles in the hands of the MiBR players, but frenzy from Morris if they try and fight this one like they have been in the past. Oh, they're met. Bullets raining down on them. It's an arrow choke point and they're being squeezed. All the angles here. Asena chased, flash. Seeker's reloading. He's got to get out of there. Someone needs to help him. He's been sighted. Cryo, meanwhile, how's he done this? All the way through A main. He's cut it up. A good adaptation.
There was a frenzy. There was a frenzy and a classic brought into this round, Brent. This is another half-buy situation that 100 Thieves were on the wrong side of.
Yeah, I did already have, I think, 3 of the rifles heading into it, though, but now it's up to Cryo. Low enough. Morris wins that with the widest swing. He's just trying to get info for his team there, and he does the most. But you are right, it's another, like, weird buy situation. I wouldn't quite call it a thrifty,
No,
but...
it's not a thrifty, you're right. They still have 3 rifles, but the frenzy got a lot of work done.
Yeah.
And also, MiBR crucially making a really important read that 100 Thieves have been playing heavy around these double doors.
And that's the adaptation, right?
Yeah, stacking a couple of players up there. And Asena hasn't really been using too much of his utility to take that door. They've been relying very heavily on the cascade and MiBR not playing there. So now, you know, the next layer perhaps is to really heavily push that area with Trailblazer and flashes. But that does give away which parts of the map you're fighting for. MiBR with 3 players towards A main again. The flash from the sky, not finding any information, so they just leave JCZ posted up with an operator.
Here.
It's going to give them the freedom to stack these other 4 players from MiBR anywhere else they like on the map.
Yeah, it does.
Turret down.
Turret broken in mid. It's decent by MiBR. Breaking the Killjoy utility. Putting a bit of fear now into 100 Thieves, and how they clear this angle is so vital. They got to know that there's money online for the op. Yeah, it's a quick jiggle, and they spot it out. Trailblazer as well, pushed forwards, dealt with.
It's nice from JCC though, he keeps contesting multiple angles there, only popping his dash at the final moment once the Trailblazer's used.
Minute on the clock.
Bang's gonna get caught by the alarm bot.
Well, clears the util out.
Oh, I like it. Okay, so Murray's is popping his ult off the pressure towards B. And this now puts serious time crunch onto 100 Thieves. 40 seconds.
What calls do they want to make? They'll have to try and go for the plan here, but anybody could pop out of one of these angles. Plant. He's going for it. Snake bite. Down. Spray. Randomly. And still catching it. It's the util that gets the job done. MiBR now starting to swarm this position. The reposition from Bang. Only the one to be gained.
It's a bad plan.
Traded, and it is a bad plan. You have to play close onto the corner. High tide, though, it's going to be blocking off that avenue, isn't it? Gets sent flying, cutting across. They try to push forwards. The Fuse sticking it through. Wall gets dropped. Easy enough fight.
I really like that play from MiBR. Benito was talking about it last week, actually, how good those Viper's Pits off B sound or pressure can be. And 100 Thieves are stuck in a situation where, with 40 seconds on the clock, they might have enough time to run all the way back to A, but it would be so telegraphed, very noisy, and difficult. Now, I think the best call in this situation would have been to try and take out Murray's before they went for the plant. But they just felt a little rushed, a little scrambled, and went for it anyway inside their cove, where the snake bite and vulnerable ended up being devastating. MiBR have fought for A long quite a lot, but this time not going for it. JZZ's got his off in art.
Here we go. This is fast. Flash forwards. Art being cut off here with a Reckoning as well. Cleans out the site. No one can stand their ground. MiBR backing away. They're giving them the plant. They have confidence. They know they've got the better guns, and they know they've got the Reckoning and the lockdown. Big ultimates to really clear out this Viper's Pit. 100 Thieves committing it.
Going for a thrifty of their own.
Do they want to try and push this? One player spotted. There's the Reckoning. And again, this is really awkward for 100 Thieves. Cryo. I mean, it's just absolutely everything in his face. Utility, Muck, the lockdown as well. Viper's Pit will be falling here with a kill found on the Stella. It's going to make it that much more easier. Comes out to the utility, and it's a bit of a scramble.
RGL has Cove.
Cove as well to try and bring this one down. Players are equalizing, but the Fuse is being stuck, and they don't have the guns for it. Cryo has to jump right through, stuck onto half, all the way through. It's random spam, it's RNG. And it gets the job done, sadly.
One enemy remaining.
For 100 Thieves.
They didn't have a plan to push the lockdown.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's really what the round comes down to, is that 100 Thieves decide to invest the Viper's Pit on site and don't have an idea of how they're going to counter the Reckoning and the lockdown that come out to challenge it. The lockdown was placed in Flowers, and it forced everybody on 100 Thieves to evacuate the site in a spot where, as you quite rightly point out, as soon as the Cove goes down for RGL, look, they're shooting it with Classics and Frenzies and a Blade Storm and stuff. It just doesn't do enough damage.
Yeah.
You need the spray of those rifles to securely play a post plant like that.
And so maybe an attempt to push, deep into the back of the spawn, like towards Secret, Flowers, something like that. Coordinated. Throw them off when they're trying to set up for the lockdown, but it wasn't there. And it's caused 100 Thieves to use one of their timeouts now. It's 4-4, it's equalized. It was a great beginning for 100 Thieves, but MiBR have been scrambling back. It all started with that thrifty round, the eco round again. I think they're 3 out of 4 so far.
It's been ridiculous what MiBR have been able to pull off with the light buy situations. Here is that lockdown. See a little replay of it here. And also just spamming into the Reckoning positions is so good against the Viper's Pit. Yeah. You don't even really need the vision that much.
Just pay attention to where the little golden whips are appearing above them.
Quite. And so I thought 100 Thieves might be coming back into this map with some real fire lit underneath them. They're one map away from being eliminated from playoffs. That has got to light a fire underneath you. And it felt like Cryo had one. He was coming in here, dominating those early fights. And since then, they just haven't been able to stop the retakes.
Put a dampener on it. Deep flash now, mid-control. There's the loud wall that's going to be used, so the goal of this one, either to take a fight or clear out the utility. Operator has been spotted. Cryo not eager to take that fight again.
They didn't break the turret.
Yeah, they hit a turret, but they don't break it.
But they have actually threatened that they could be going into mid. So the use of that high tide is that it kind of bypasses the turret. They take it out anyway. But you can see that MiBR have got to drop back way deep in their spawn to deal with this kind of thing. The serious threat, though, that MiBR still have is JZZ just holding art control for them the whole time. Oh. Then Bang gets caught, walking past the alarm bot.
You should run.
Chosen understands how his kill choice setups have been placed and where the gaps are.
And this is a really important tool now. With Chosen still alive, they're going to have the nano swarms all there. Look at it. Cuts across onto the side with the lockdown. Fades away, no one detained, and MiBR an option for them. Do they want to flood into this one as the plant's going down? Spray kill. Seeker's used to try and push them back here, but again, it's 100 Thieves that are feeling the heat. It's turned all the way up. The spike is in the middle of nowhere. They have to make plays. They're pushing forwards, deep into the spawn. But there's so many angles to watch for. And you got to win out these fights. It's just not looking likely. Only Cryo's there. 15 seconds remaining. They'd have to all line up for him. On his position, round the side, try to react to it. Chosen with 4. And what a massive kill he got at the beginning. Bringing down Bang, staying alive, keeping his util up.
He's been a phenomenal super sub for this team coming in to replace Heat. He really has. The first match, he got pounded into the dust, and he hasn't let it bother him mentally. He's just come back into their next one with something more to prove. Great opener, great kill onto the planter too. I think, though, 100 Thieves should have a really good idea of how Chosen's playing right now. Bang has twice been able to lurk all the way deep down B and run into an alarm bot that triggers some response from Chosen. If I was him, I'd be trying to tell the rest of 100 Thieves, we need to go and break that Killjoy utility on B early, so that if we return to B later on, they don't have that info.
There's already been adjustments. Look at the MiBR setup. They've got the alarm bot now deep into the back of halls.
It's impressive, isn't it?
Chosen switching it up.
Chosen's a smokes player, or at least he was when he played Valorant a long time ago. And yet his Killjoy setups have been really solid this week.
First fight to be taken. Rifle exchange the hands though with Cryo falling and still with the operator. Watching that main angle. Stun. It connects.
Spike down A.
Scrambling. 100 Thieves. They can't get anything going. Not on that round.
It's a half buy for 100 Thieves. The economy weaker, but we've seen those be incredibly dangerous around the R, and they just look limp from 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
And I'm really wondering where all that fire's gone.
Yeah, this is starting to get precarious, isn't it?
Oh, MiBR already anticipating some adjustment in terms of the play. Move Chosen back over to the A site. So, like I was saying, I would really like 100 Thieves to go and explore towards B early on so that they can reset and re-hit B. But if they did that right now, they'd be going into the op.
Right, gamble at the beginning, though, for 100 Thieves. There's a flash. Cryo set up onto the angle. The rest of the team now leaving. Probably looking to put pressure into mid. Maybe even set up here for the A split.
They did go for the A split once on an anti-eco, but they didn't run into this particular Killjoy setup. It's a very common one.
Swarm grenade out.
And you see the cascade stops the turret from getting information, but the alarm bot is still there. Nano Swarm line up to clear out this area too.
The turret's broken.
Do they break the alarm bot?
Moving forward enough. It looks like they want to actually commit into this one, into the A split. All that information, though, it's gathered, and MiBR, they stack it with 3 other players.
Chosen with another spray spam kill from back of sight.
Yeah. Part of the course of Pearl, what we've seen, a lot of the phantom spray downs. Not too much precision up play, but it still gets the job done. Now a snake bite into the back of the site. Just hoping that they can earn a kill. Grace of God really at hand here. White to swing into it, Bangs falling, and it's all in the blink of an eye over in that round. 7-4, MiBR sailing ahead with this lead, looking at
last round
potentially again that 8-4 finish.
And this is why 100 Thieves losing Fracture was so devastating. They just don't look like they're able to get in on Pearl at all. This is now 6 rounds in a row where they've failed, fumbled, not been able to get either a plant down into a good post plant or just been retaken on.
Enemy remaining.
The flood there from MiBR looks really clean. Chosen again, doing work. 100 Thieves need to pick things back up for a 7-5 half here. Otherwise, that might be just them kissing their playoff chances goodbye. Potter's going to be popping a bottle of champagne at the half.
Yeah. With 100 Thieves losing, of course, EG sailed their way into the top 6, making that playoffs. That's what's decided with this series.
And they can't have thought that was likely heading into the day with how poorly MiBR have been playing recently. But it just looks like a different squad today.
Contacting all the way up here, just trying to explore for the util. But look at it, the lockdown's being committed. Close up onto the corner and play fast, aggressive. Cryo trying to make the most of it as well. Within the timings of the lockdown, but he's taken out removed. It's 4 versus 4. The plan is for them, and it's going to come down to this, is it? Lovely high tide cuts off these deep areas. And it cuts off a lot of these lineup angles as well if they want to try and play the util to deny the plant. 100 Thieves, they might be in a tricky situation. Flash, repeat, taking the fights to them. No one's sticking to the fuse yet, but there's plenty of time left to do it. RGL, job's in his hands. The rest of his team taking fights, taking battle to the Cove. It's all defended. It's all watched for. It's 8-4. And MiBR playing spoiler, setting themselves up for the slam dunk finish.
That was such a nice retake. The high tide that you pointed out and the aggression before just getting stuck, diffusing the spike. It's all good. It's all there.
Yeah, really, really nice stuff. Dangerous team, MiBR. Nothing to play for. It unleashes that upper limit of potential.
100 Thieves must be absolutely kicking themselves for how they're performing currently.
Yeah.
They had it all in their own hands.
Absolutely, yeah. Vansili standing by with the Portuguese streamer Otsuka.
Thank you so much, Brennan Sideshow. And indeed, I am here with Otsuka of Audic, content creator. Thank you so much for your time, Otsuka. I just wanted to ask you about your experience so far here in LA, streaming now at the Riot Games Arena. How's it been so far?
First of all, I'm sorry to all American fans because my English is not the best one, but...
It's good, Chad. It's really good, is it? Crowd, isn't it good? His English is great, isn't it? Let's go.
So I'm pretty happy to be here, so thanks Riot to bring me here, and then I'm pretty nervous watching this series. There's a good game, and go MiBR. They say MiBR. Go MiBR.
For sure. Wait, repeat that for me?
Go MiBR.
Maybe hey.
MiBR.
Maybe hey.
That's it.
But let's talk about that game. It's a stressful game here on that first map. As a content creator, as a fan here for Brazil, but they still won this first map against 100 Thieves on their map pick. So what's your thoughts about MiBR so far?
I wasn't expecting this game because we don't have Heat and we have Chozin.
Yeah.
We have Chozin and his smash in the game. So I'm pretty happy to see MiBR play like this. I wasn't expecting, to be honest with you guys, but pretty happy now to see this.
Well, at least now you see here on this second map that they've actually had a comeback as well. Do you think this is going to go to a 2-0 for MiBR, or are we hoping for a 3-mapper?
I think it's 2-0 to be... unfortunately, the crowd will be pretty sad, but I think it's 2-0 and go Brazil.
I know your chat will be happy, though, at least. But let's move on at least to the playoffs, right? They start next week. What are your thoughts around Loud and Furia as well as they make it into the playoffs? You think they're going to be able to make it into the 2 out of the 3 spots for Tokyo?
Yeah, I think we will play very nice with Loud team. Loud is I think is the best team. They proven it here.
Yeah.
So I'm very confident with them. Furia makes me feel a little bit nervous watching them. Some games they smash the game. Some games they don't play that well. You know, they got nervous. I don't know. They have some kind of blackout in the game.
For sure.
So I don't know what to expect of them. But
awesome.
I'm pretty confident with Loud.
Yeah? All right, we'll see how it goes. Otsuka, obrigado for your time. We're going to pass it back here to Brent and Sideshow to close out the series between these two teams.
Thank you very much, Vance. Yeah, that was a fun little interview. But, oh man, look at the round history here in this map. There's 7 rounds in a row now being lost for 100 Thieves. And you got to think as well, this is where you really get tested. Your playoff chances weighing at the back of your mind.
They need another pistol. 100 Thieves, they won it in the first half, and we were talking about how important that was, with MiBR taking both of them on Fracture. They haven't even really got JZZ online. It's been all the support players making the difference.
Playing off of each other, setting each other up. Bit of an angle there for some spam into the common position. Utility as well. Lovely nano swarm placement. It's going to be denying any sort of space gained. And they do capitalize. Okay. Just aiming into the common spots, making sure that they remove them. What? Derry doesn't win that inside the orb. Needs to be responsive. Who knows what's happening right now? Snakebite at his feet, vulnerable up. Cryo will be falling. The cove in his face. He thought to deny the plan. It's broken. Sellers wide out in the open. Doesn't look to be much more help, but still doesn't need it. Yes, he does. The team responds. They collapse onto it. Good setup there. And a must-win pistol round, Josh. We were talking about it. We said it. They grab it.
Focus and a little bit of nervousness, I think, on the faces of the 100 Thieves players after that pistol round. It is a lifeline for them. One that they will be holding on to. Their anti-ecos have been absolutely dreadful, but surely there's no way they lose a round like this. This should be the opportunity for 100 Thieves to stabilize just a tad and start things rolling again. Give themselves a fresh start at the half.
It's necessary.
They've got everything to play for here. And MiBR, nothing to lose. That's a good start for Cryo. Normally, you wouldn't be putting such a focus on a round like this, where MiBR only have classics, but the Thrifties have just been devastating 100 Thieves chances in this match so far.
Yeah, they've been winning all of them. They're going to get given the plan, so, well, smoke in the face.
Planted.
Again, just a random fire into those angles with the plant going down. It is that post plant, but huge player advantage. Closing is seen, and that is clean. It needed to be clean. 8-6 now. And that lifeline, it's renewed into the second half. 100 Thieves to start building it back up.
Might want to pop the cork back in the bottle of champagne.
Not yet. Not yet, Potter. Not yet.
Yeah, wait a little while.
Poison's gone. Spike planted. Yeah.
It was 100 Thieves' attack side that, to me, looked the most lifeless on Pearl. And to be honest, I think they did bring a couple of new ideas here. They just ended up getting completely outplayed. What have MiBR got to show us? Rifles in hand. And 100 Thieves are setting up Cryo on a deep angle here. He's got a Phantom. Probably going to tuck himself behind this box. And just wait to see if Murray's and RGL go for the clear.
Yeah. All the walls and smokes in his face. Hiding it.
Cryo's still got Asuna to play off at some point here too.
Flash tags it. There's so many positions that players could be in here.
That is a strange investment of the Trailblazer and Dash this early on. When the flash caught somebody, Cryo and Asuna's protocol is to fight there, thinking that they could be close. But in reality, RGL and Murray's were a long way away. And all that's done for 100 Thieves is, first 40 seconds, they pushed up B long, and now they've given it again.
Mid-rounding of MiBR here is quite nice. Prying open the middle section of the map, removing some of the utility.
And FRZ still has full Sky util to work with. Here's the Trailblazer.
Destroyed.
And he's got a flashback too. They can end wherever they like.
Was broken early, so tonight a bit of that extra info. Still, the Nanoswarms. Looks like this is going to be ending. 30 seconds left. Nanoswarms popped
30 seconds left.
prematurely, ever so slightly, just to prevent them from really getting into the site. There's a dash forwards as well. A lot of damage. Narrowly escaping that one. Plant still needs to go down here, though, and it will.
Derek doesn't really have a weapon where he can wallbang, so he's going to swing instead, and he catches Murray's.
There you go.
Mid-transition.
Go over his face starts. Going to be chewed through. Bringing it down. Player close here. RGL. Looking to try and stay alive. They're spamming to the corner. It looks like they are aware that he's there. Wider swing. Going to be some sort of phase. Bang! He's taking the lead for the rest of his team. It's difficult, though. Going to match the crossfire. Art's been dealt with still. It's a 2-on-2. Left of the Chosen. Running gun. That does it. But the Phantom just barely.
It's a nice try from 100 Thieves. They didn't quite have the weaponry that they will do later on in the game. But overall, the way that they played it was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Don't think you can be mad about that if you're hoping for them to make the comeback.
They win the bonus. It'll be amazing, but the fact that they did that much damage, they'd be quite pleased with.
I think in particular, Derek being able to find a kill and stabilize and just slow down the rest of MiBR, that's a really important one. Derek had a pretty dreadful attack side, and now on defense is going to be asked a lot of. The Killjoys sometimes just get bullied on the defense side, but Derek for the moment, playing impressively, using his utility well to slow them down on the pistol and the bonus there for 100 Thieves.
Look at this now.
Reckoning gain for RGL.
Yep, 4-1. The Reckoning's probably going to be used to take this side.
And to counter.
Problem. Yeah, here it is.
They're both used at the same time.
Right, offloaded, 1 for 1. They were ready for it. Negates it out, actually. Buys a bit of time now for 100 Thieves to choose to see if they want to rotate, and they do indeed do that. Surrounding it with their players, preventing the spike from really getting planted and any sort of positioning to be gained.
But this is what I wanted to see from 100 Thieves in the previous half, where they go B early, break a lot of the Killjoy setup, and they can always re-hit B later on. They've only taken 40 seconds off the clock, now a bit more down to a minute. MiBR still have options. They can try and go A, they could go for back to B.
Cryo with the up.
Not really at this point.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
Sightline from the back of Flowers. He's got it perfectly into main. It's smoked off, though. Oh, wow. That was an opportunity to be granted.
Nearly caught a fingertip.
Almost getting the kill. But open sight. Again, a Phantom spam spraying through. And the post-plant positioning from MiBR here is actually quite good. They get the plant down. Troubled up, holding control of Ard and main. This is going to be really hard for 100 Thieves to fight back into.
Especially with that orb from Murray's. A lot of decay for anybody coming out through Flowers. There's a flank going on here from JZZ too.
How do they opt to do it? The High Tide just swings its way all the way through into Art. But you have so much to deal with. Util, spam, onto it. Half onto defuse, bang, he's got it. He's made it potentially winnable, not quite anymore. It would take so much from Asuna. A step up in performance the likes we haven't seen in quite a bit. And yeah, that might be Art. They just did enough there with a setup in their post plant. It was contained.
And I think their attack side calling is something fairly simple but really effective that we didn't see from 100 Thieves at all. Barreling towards one of the sites early, dragging 4 players there, and it frees up either the B re-hit or, like we saw, the full rotate to A. They got that spike plant down so easily, and they were even able to go and take art control for the post plant without barely any resistance.
Yeah.
They just had to dodge one op shot from Cryo.
It was that full over-rotation when he also committed. I mean, it felt like a B hit. It was supposed to be a B hit. That's why it felt like one.
Yeah.
Everybody was grouped up behind it. And so a timeout for 100 Thieves. Got to reflect on this now.
Yeah, it's going to get a little desperate in the 100 Thieves camp as they scramble for ideas. And that can sometimes be the biggest problem in moments like these. When you feel the weight of pressure and the burden of expectation settle heavy upon your shoulders, it can be hard for your mind to be free and think of different solutions. That's where Mike will have some input, and Stellar as the IGL, I'm sure. But really, it becomes so much more difficult when your confidence gets knocked and your back's up against a wall, compared to when you're winning and it feels like any idea works. At that point, everyone's throwing them out.
Yeah. Bit of a dampener on the spirits here. Bunch of Thieves had the most to do to try and step up, equalize the map, stay in the series, and stay in a chance of making the playoffs.
But this is going to be a thrifty round for 100 Thieves, so in all likelihood, MiBR stepping up to 11 rounds here, and that is devastating for this 100 Thieves squad.
Disastrous. Then beginning for MiBR. We're used to it by now. We've seen enough weeks of play with this composition here being played.
I've got your trail.
Cascade now to Seekers, layers it up. Nothing to match it, nothing to meet it from 100 Thieves. Plan's gonna go down easily enough. Look at that spam onto the corner. They hit a reload. This is A, being body blocked. Oh my goodness, he's like, get out of my way. Get me to safety.
The fight's happening on the flank here, really.
And this is important. There's still enough time into this one for there to be that danger. Snakebite doesn't connect, actually blocks them off. And Cryo, he lands a shot, the Blaze Storm. He's earned them some guns.
They're going to push this into Stellar.
Yeah, this is the response from MiBR. Stella staying alive, doing as much as he possibly can. And honestly, maybe enough done with the damage. Doesn't get the kill that he was hoping for. Seeker's now pushing forwards and around. It's a South Flash, Team Flash, Cryo. He's blinded up. Any presence? Got to try and stick this one, but it's contacted up with the knives. Still, now he's noted the position. He's going to hold this ground. FRZ, that's a sticking it, no choice too. He wins it. FRZ.
Now there's some
3 kills. And that's 11-6.
100 Thieves needed that. They needed it. Cryo did everything he could. The flank play was nice. The mid-rounding from MiBR to shove it into Stellar even better.
One enemy remaining.
How different it would have been if there was a bit of RNG there, you know? Stella's right click gets a kill.
Sure, but also just the duel towards the end. FRZ swings into Cryo, a straight-up duel. FRZ wins it, and it sets him up for the 1v2 Red Bull clutch. 100 Thieves have still got chances here, but it is looking rougher by the second. MiBR are in control today. They're just 2 rounds away from their first series win in 35 days. That upset against NRG. And Cryo.
Get out of my way.
Bang, taken out early. Onto the common angle here. And again, it's that explosive increase of tempo into the back of the horse. Cryo, when he gets his 1 kill. But look at this, the aggression, updraft up into it. Asuna, he watches it though, he hears it, takes care of it. Locked down, sailing right over. Gotta be careful, there's no detainment. But here we go, Murray's Viper's Pit in their face. Such a pivotal round, why not invest everything? MiBR winning will break the economy of 100 Thieves. It'll set them up for that series win to deny the playoffs. So it all comes down to it. How do you win the fight out? Spam. Spam onto the corner. Derek misses it. Ever so slightly. Nanoswarm's popped off. And there it is, not cleared. Stella waiting back and forth. Murray's. With all the odds committed, 12-6. MiBR,
Match
they
point.
stand on the brink, playing spoiler, denying the playoffs for 100 Thieves, and granting a gift to EG.
12-6. Just seems like a fated scoreline this week. We saw it in the first map as well on Fracture, right before MiBR locked that map up.
One enemy remaining.
The EG players will be sweating at home just as much as the 100 Thieves players are on stage.
And a call is made. This is it. It's do or die. It's going to come down to this fight. Grouped up. Flash is dodged. Maybe a bit of false information. No armor for Cryo. Forced into the rifle. They need a pick, but with that presence, MiBR want nothing to do with it.
Thieves have used a lot of utility there, but they've still got the Killjoy stuff up over towards A.
They've rotated adequately. Cryo's already going to be meeting this one, but space gained. Running their way forward. Again, the Reckoning's playing such an important role in these side hits. The Nanoswarm's popped off. Cryo wins his fight. He had no armor. He wasn't favored there. That's the first step. If they're going to be able to overcome this one, but the spam kills, that's what matters. Cryo wins another one. Plan has to be denied for but a moment. The util's there. There's a flood attempt by 100 Thieves. Cryo is unleashed. He's unlocked. The rest of his team backs him up. Chosen. He's got to stand up to it. But it's already looking like Cryo returning maybe to the beginning of that form that he had at the start of Pearl. What a time to do it. 4 kills. Still alive.
MiBR, the speed that they're playing at, it took 100 Thieves a while to adapt on Fracture, and they really failed in the end. It feels like that's the first time where we've actually seen the adaptation come through on Pearl. MiBR barreled towards the B site at the start there. Bang used both of his snake bites just to keep them back. And MiBR went for the full pivot. Full ran it into A. And Cryo had to sprint from up B long all the way back over to help Derek. And that's what really wins them the round, the speed at which he rotates, and of course the shots he hits.
And I gotta say, just landing it, stepping up. 23 kills. Forcing a timeout out for MiBR. They have one more of those as well in the back pocket in case it does start to get rough, but it's 5 rounds, Josh. 5 chances for MiBR to put the dream to bed.
And you were talking about Cryo just then. I do feel for him. His performances week 1, 2, and 3 were really rough, and I think 100 Thieves suffered as a result, and part of the reason why they find themselves in this spot, to be honest, where the final game of the regular season defines whether or not they make it into playoffs. But from week 4 onwards, Cryo's been a bit of a demon. It looks like he's straight back to what we expected of him in the offseason. Comes out here. He's playing fantastically. And his team is on the verge of losing and being eliminated.
So much demanded of him.
And there will be more if 100 Thieves are to mount this comeback. There will be more.
One single misstep will cost them everything. MiBR moving forwards, grouped up, meeting them. Walls for walls, flashes for flashes. Gaining that space, and again, it's the Reckoning.
I've seen Bang use his Viper's Pit before. It always seems so ambitious. He's so far away from the action when it actually ends on either site. And Pearl's a map where you can just run it into one of the bomb sites. So I'm not sure he's really going to have too much impact in this.
100 Thieves stacking this for 3 of their players.
Yeah, Murray's lurking over towards B as well as MiBR call a bit of a halt, a silence in this round. It's not something that MiBR have done too much in the half. We saw Bang go for lurks like this a lot down B, and he was getting picked to pieces by Chosen. Who's going to win the battle between Murray's and Derek? Whether it be an aim duel or a positioning outplay.
And this is important. It's a fake attempt. Spike is nowhere near B, by the way, but they're attempting to make it feel like it is the play. Cryo takes the fight. Alarm bot triggered into enemy territory, and yet Morris is decimated. He's cooked. Ripped to
30
shreds.
seconds left.
Big advantage. And now the hits finally coming through. Spike making his way over here. Snakebites drop down just to get them onto it. 100 Thieves not giving him the chance.
And I've been asking MiBR to slow the pace down on both maps, actually, to throw in a couple of rounds like that.
10 seconds
But
left.
The coordination just doesn't quite seem to be there for this squad. That round looked overcooked. The timing way off in terms of the fake attempt. And Murray's diving into the alarm bot and dying, in fact, to the nanoswarms. All right. So 6 opportunities goes down to 4. I swear we were saying that earlier this week as well, Brent. I'm getting some serious deja vu.
10 seconds left.
The 100 Thieves will take anything they can.
Yeah, will it be a repeat? A comeback of this fashion. The chances are getting removed, but all it takes is one, remember.
And this one should be a gimme for 100 Thieves, but they have struggled on the anti-ecos this entire match to such a high degree.
You cannot give anything away. Grouped up now. It's Derek holding it. He's got his util. Waiting for the hit to potentially come through. Stella, great kill to find there. Chosen falling. Okay, JCZ. Trying to reset the aim. Della. Derek doing well. Safe hands, still alive as well. In a safe position here. The Trailblazer to push forwards. Doesn't anticipate it. It's a reposition.
But it's only FRZ.
Yeah. He's last alive. Snake bite. Moving him out. 3-2-1 double swing. There needs to be a face there. Okay.
A small amount of danger, but nowhere near as bad as some of their previous anti-ecos. So 100 Thieves, half the chances that MiBR had available to them at winning this match 2-0.
That should have been a freebie though, Josh. It was.
It was. It ended up being. And it's also boosted the ult economy of 100 Thieves too. They've got a Reckoning to stop a sight hit from coming through. They've got a Lockdown to try and play retake. These are big, big tools.
Oh, here we go. It's a clash though. MiBR one away from their own Reckoning. We know how much they've been playing for these orbs. It's a fight towards A.
I don't think they're going to commit to this fully. This just looks like a bit of a fake.
Yeah, push them back. Gets info.
So they're going to allow RGL Meister to get up to... Oh, RGL actually a bit scared of that. Doesn't know whether there's serious people behind it. It could have been a play to set Cryo up. So RGL doesn't want to play for that orb. Perhaps then pivoted over to B. Oh, the Trailblazer does not spot Chosen. We could see a big clash in mid.
First fight. Footsteps. Snake bite. Vulnerable. Spam. Bang. Heads up.
Intelligent.
You knew what to expect.
Meanwhile, though, the reswing from Murray's through B-Link.
All the way through B-Link. Gets one. It's met. It's answered. It's traded. But again, time. Pushing forward. JCZ, he's in there. Spawn. Reckoning as well. All the way through. It's a lockdown. Now on his feet, JCZ, he's got to be noted here. He wins the fight versus Stella. On the high ground, Cryo swings round, lands a shot. It's chaos, has been thrown into the mix. 2 players left standing for MiBR, and they are running. It's a marathon sprint.
And it's a move that we've seen before from MiBR. Heavy pressure towards B, and then go all the way back over to the A side. They know that there was Killjoy utility on B.
Left.
That probably means 100 Thieves don't have anyone on A. Or possibly one offer. The flash clears out Flowers. They know Cryo isn't there. That's the angle he's been playing before. So they enter in. It's going to be a free plant.
I got to say, this is still potentially dangerous.
Oh,
even with MiBR, with the player disadvantage, because it's a long rotation. 100 Thieves, when they stack the site like that, they lose time. Most important factor. Doubled up for MiBR. Crossfire setup into the art position. A lot to watch for now for 100 Thieves. You have to be clean. There's so much to clear.
They don't know where MiBR are
they
at all.
They don't have a clue. It's a flank attempt.
This is...
FRZ taking risks. There's a turret to watch that one, though.
This is bold from
Cryo
FRZ.
sticking it. It's met. They know where one of the players are. Cryo trusting his teammates. He's sticking it all the way through. It's enough. Granted the win by sheer milliseconds.
The tiniest of margins. The slimmest of threads. A knife's edge that separates 100 Thieves there.
And they're still alive.
From elimination from the playoffs.
This is ridiculous. RGL, what a player he's been.
He's been superb today. Absolutely superb.
And I think he's played this so well. Most players are going to be getting off the stick there, on the spike.
What more can Cryo do in this map?
Money. One last hurrahs in the bank for MiBR, but they only need 1 round. 2 more chances. A gap in the cascade. It's common. Cryo. Operator. Wants to find a target. Anyone to break it, doesn't land it. What an important shot or kill that might have been. Punished though, Derek answers. What a kill from Stella! The updraft from JZZ. He wanted to make the most of that.
And Derek's turnaround from the first half to the second has been nothing short of miraculous for 100 Thieves. It's been one of the big things keeping them in it, along with Cryo popping off. The Killjoy setups and his fragging have all been imperative for them to keep it in this game and keep that playoff dream alive.
Both of the controller players of 100 Thieves up. Look at that. I mean, you're just cycling the wall, the high tide, rotating them both. It's a chokehold. You cannot enter the B site.
Are we just going to see the exact same thing again, where
Only this
MiBR
time
sprint 2 players to A?
It's the only option they got, but with the money this low, Josh, they might just be opting into saving. 3 of the players bought out fully. They need these rifles.
JZZ is going to be able to buy next round. Chosen could drop one. But yeah, you're right. The others, the economy is looking rough. Bulldogs light armor for FRZ Murray's by the look of things.
Yeah. A hard call, but MiBR.
Oh my, those 6 chances have all been whittled down to 1.
One more shot. Credit to 100 Thieves. They've done enough to bounce back, but this is the most important one. Comes down to this. That last time out for MiBR, a bit more room to breathe. Talk about what you want done. Bazooka going to be making the most of it. What a reverberations from the crowd. You can feel it up on their feet.
But this timeout is just full of so many emotions. From the 100 Thieves camp, they're running high, but every round has the risk of plunging them into despair, as their regular season and playoff hopes will be over. And spare a moment to think of the EG players watching from wherever they are in LA. I mean, Ethan was talking about if MiBR won today, he'd do a 24-hour stream. Demon One was talking about going bald if MiBR won. I mean, he'll have the Clippers ready, plugged in to charge. This has been a ridiculous match so far. And even if 100 Thieves were able to pull it out, we go to Lotus.
Yeah. Still undecided. This is just to stay alive in the series, but that final chance. MiBR, they could close it out here, or could be seeing overtime. 100 Thieves. They've stepped up. Cryo at the top, 27 kills.
3 times the frags of his opposing Jet. What more do you want from Cryo? What more can you ask? And yet MiBR have had other players stepping up. The Seekers?
Okay.
Did Asuna use those in the first 10 seconds and the Trailblazer, trying to shove everybody into a reactive play on B.
Making them feel like they're pushing out of A. It's just only Asuna sitting in that position. But MiBR, they just hold it down, they play slow.
And suddenly all of that is just wasted, really, isn't it?
Wasted. And it's a scramble from 100 Thieves.
It cuts 30 seconds, if that, off the clock.
Cryo's had to reposition to this. He's laid onto it. Dog's going to be clearing him. Now they know where the operator is, lurking through.
They have, however, been able to stack 3 players on B because of all the info that Asuna's got in A main. They're ready for this.
It's a fight, it's a rumble, vulnerable flash into the corner, good snake bite. Push them away, forces the updraft. Spam won't do it. Close to the corner, Morris is there, Bang wins his fight.
Asuna's pushing out from A. He's going to meet Chosen.
It's going to be Container, comes out to the fight. There's one, and Asuna wasn't looking.
So now, do they react into A? Do they meet Cryo?
It's all over the place.
What's the play? They're indecisive.
30 seconds.
30 seconds left.
This is chaos. The final round has been plunged into absolute anarchy.
Down.
Bang. To step up, to save the team. Tried to pre-fire it, Derek's there. Swinging wide, doesn't stay alive for much longer though. He will fall. 2 versus 3. Spike planted on the angle, spammed, back holds. It's noted, 10 seconds remaining, the time pressure is there. A kill on it, will do it all. It's held, round the side, it's one, surely there it is.
Smarts from Asuna, what an adaptation from 100 Thieves there on the B side.
Switching sides.
That crazy gambit at the beginning of the round as Asuna unloads every piece of utility available to him, including the ult. Yes, it did not funnel MiBR into B, but what it did was eventually shepherd them in that direction and allow 100 Thieves to cheat their rotates and stack 3 on the site. The first line of defense fell, then Derek put up a decent attempt, but it was Stellar, the third player on the B side, to mop things up. And we go to overtime. How have 100 Thieves kept their playoff dreams alive? I can't believe it.
Room to breathe, but only for a moment. Maybe a little bit of tension relieved as well out of the shoulders, but here we go. 100 Thieves attack side. Didn't look so hot. And risks. No armor. JZZ wants to take the fight with the operator right into mid.
And remember, JCZ has not been performing really on Pearl so far. He was great on Fracture when he was playing the Neon. The Jet so far just hasn't been hitting. If he turns up an OT, it could crush 100 Thieves all over again.
The reposition. Back onto the B angle. 100 Thieves. And you pick up the pieces. One player down as a cascade as well. This does reduce the amount of options that you can play from if you are offing. You have to be diligent to clear it. You're not going to have the nano swarms. Toss into the back of halls. Dash fades. No chance there. Dash forwards though. It's Cryo into heaven. Lands it with the transfer. Once more. Another bite of the apple. Denied into halls. Asuna. Spray through. Spray down. 2 players left standing. 100 Thieves have managed to make the most of it. Reckoning. Even more space granted to them.
RGL's worried about being pushed. Backs all the way up. Chosen almost offered one. Knows where one player is positioned. They don't have any great util for clearing out halls here. It's just going to have to be a serious gunfight.
It's got to be racing right now. 100 Thieves. Turning the tide of this round. It was a 4v5. Already it's up to RGL. He's been monstrous. Surely he doesn't do this. Doubled up, sticking it through. Doesn't opt to use the util. Wider swing, bang. He lands it. Shot to the cranium. And now match point. It oscillates. 100 Thieves now with the moment to strike.
Deep breaths from these players. It was 7 in a row to close out the half, I believe, from MiBR to start on Pearl. 7 in a row now to bring 100 Thieves to map point. Poetic in some sense, but will it end this way? A pause just to increase the tension further as MiBR are desperate not to let this one slip away. They have not been able to find any answer, any response for so long.
It's 100 Thieves who have come up with the adaptations, getting a read on the style that MiBR have been playing. And now they've got to be thinking to themselves, we had a chance to close this out. 2-0. Would have been a quick end to the day. Would have made EG happy, but for 100 Thieves, confidence is back. Control of the game in their hands. And a moment to strike to bring it all the way to map 3.
MiBR starting their attack round, grouped up towards B long. This is where Cryo's got his operator playing with Asuna.
Same setup here for MiBR on their attack rounds. They've been using this a lot.
And the flash finds nothing. It was inside the Viper orb.
Cryo close into the corner, spam at screens. Ducking down just to avoid his head. Maybe being hit. What a shot! Skewered! Gets out alive with his life, stunned up. This is what they were hunting for. This is what they were hoping for. You couldn't have asked for more. Cryo. 3, 4. Will he make it 5? Round the side, ace to finish.
Defenders win.
That is magical.
What a phenomenal way to end the map. Just an performance from this young star. A rocky road to start the season. And pushed to the very brink. They've recovered a 12-6 deficit with a cryo ace towards the end. He dropped, I think it was like 350 ACS over the course of the map. A hard carry performance to drag his team away from the edge of a cliff and give him another shot, another map, where they might be able to make it still to playoffs.
It's a hope, a narrow one.
One enemy.
They bought the time, they got us to map 3, all the way, that's the distance. Our final match of the regular split, with so much to play for.
How have we seen this similar story play out twice this week? I can't believe it.
I don't know, something about this week of matches just bringing out the best of every single opponent, every single team. And Cryo with his finish. He stepped up the whole map, putting the team on his back. What a way to finalize it.
Red Bull gives you wings.